Like a sub. I was like, enjoy my 10 inches.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's the sub.
Right. Now, this
spicy
is
nudes.
probably the first time I'm turning red on camera, so I'm sure that's going to make it in. Welcome to another episode of Airdrie Inside. I am your host, Chris Glass. I am here again at Rival Axe. Again, if you haven't checked out this facility, you have to. There's axe throwing, there's cornhole. There's also a meeting room upstairs, so if you have any corporate events, you could have it there. And a full-service bar just behind the camera here. So check it out. They've been great hosts for us. We're always looking for new venues that we can film at. So if you have a venue and you want us to film there, let us know. Reach out, and we'd love to be a part of it. I'm really excited about my next guest because I've known her for 6 years. Hien, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Now, tell everybody about yourself.
Well, I moved to Airdrie about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But we've had our business here since 2024.
Wow.
Well, the restaurant's been there since 2000, but we purchased it in 2004. And then after driving so many kilometers and so many cars after, I decided to move out here. So, and then here we are today, going on 26 years now at the restaurant.
And which restaurant?
Petite Saigon. Yeah, Petite Saigon. First Vietnamese restaurant here in Airdrie. When we came out here, I think there was like 10,000 people. And Co-op was the newest thing that was opening. And where on earth was Canadian Tire?
Right.
That's how old and how long we've been here, I guess.
And so now Airdrie is around 80,000 people.
That is insane.
The scope is crazy. You've seen it grow.
So much.
What motivated you to open a Vietnamese restaurant in a city with only 10,000 people?
It's the diversity, right? Because there was nothing out here. There was one Chinese restaurant, and I think that was in Tower Lane Mall.
Right.
And I don't know if anyone ever remembers that little mall.
I want to do a whole episode on Tower Lane Mall, how it used to actually be a mall, not like a crazy, an old school 90s style mall.
It was awesome. And they had like the best poutine in there.
A San.
Yep. And like a little an internet cafe. Do you remember those when you had to like do dial up?
Yeah, you had to log in, pay somebody to log in for you. That's crazy.
Yeah. So as the years have gone by, like we've seen it grows so much, and the people, and again, the diversity, and people are understanding culture more and all this stuff. And especially last year was a big year for you guys as well with the Culture Fest,
right? Which
was amazing. It was nice to see, right?
Well, I remember just before we actually opened, I guess. I mean, it's in the park, so we don't open. But we had Willie as the DJ. He was a guest on Willie Snipes, one of our previous guests, and he was great. But he was warming up the sound, and there was this group of like maybe 20 or 30 people. This is, again, an hour before we open, and they're already dancing. And then you look over, and the Jamaican community has Jamaican flags up, and you look over at the Filipino community, their flags are flying. And again, we're an hour before opening, and I remember looking at my wife, and I'm like, this is actually a thing.
It's like 10 a.m. and we're ready to go.
Right. This is actually going to be a huge event.
It was awesome.
It was beyond anybody's wildest imagination.
It was awesome. And speaking of Jamaica, it's like one of my favorite places to go ever.
With speaking of diversity and how Airdrie's changed, how has that helped business? How has that changed things for you?
It's changed so much. I've seen all kinds of people and cultures. And what's crazy is people come in and they're like, well, I've never had Vietnamese food before. So we're like, okay, so what do you eat? They're like, meat and potatoes. I'm like, well, I don't have potatoes, but I got nudes. And they're like, what? And I was like, no, not my nudes, but noodles. Right. So that's all it really is noodles and meat.
Right.
And they're just give it a go, and they come back. And 90% of my customers, I would want to say, are regulars.
Yeah.
And for doing this for so long, I see their numbers and I memorize it. And they just say, hey, it's Tara from the city. And I'm like, okay, just unusual. And then it's ready in 7 minutes.
Now, you're famous for your personalized notes on your
Oh, yes.
containers. Very famous for this. They get posted all the time. I see it. I know we have a lot of friends in common,
Yes.
but I see it on Shop Local and
Yes.
all the Facebook sites. You're very famous for the notes. Why did you start that?
I think it's just a good touch to everything, and it's a good giggle, and it's a good laugh. And you would have to know me personally for me to write like a cryptic, dirty, funny message. Just kind of like a sub. I was like, enjoy my 10 inches.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's the sub.
Right. Now, this
spicy
is
nudes.
probably the first time I'm turning red on camera, so I'm sure that's going to make it in.
Yeah.
It's such a cool story, and how we got to know each other was through football.
Yes.
And your son's love of sport. Josh was an incredible football player for us at George Mack, and I'm a little sad. For those of you who don't know, he's actually in the room right now, so he's hearing me say this, but I'm very sad that he's moving on because, we spent almost half a decade together as a family.
Yes.
And, coaching. And one of the things that really stood out to me was how you supported the team and how you supported us through your restaurant.
Yeah.
So talk about why that's important, because that's something that you don't get from just a takeout order or from an ad. It's really something you're passionate about.
It is, but you also put that out there for yourself as not just his coach, but as a person as well, because you took just not being a coach of just being a coach. You took it to the next level of just making it personal, and like for Josh coming into a new sport, not knowing anything, and you extending your hand out there and teaching him just made me feel like you were closer to him than just a coach.
I appreciate
So I didn't know what I could do to push that to that level, right? So supporting where I can, because I can't really offer my time because I'm so busy, where we can help and get socks for the boys, or for breast cancer in,
Right.
In October, or we can help donate money and to get food for the boys, because my God, we know how much money goes towards that. And that's where I come along, is sometimes every few practices I'll bring an order of wontons and I'll get tackled on the field.
Right.
Not literally, but they tackle the food.
If you ever see the coach sitting back in his car, he's eating a few of them before the rampage happens. I wanted to bring up football because how I met you and how I met Josh was during one of the most unique football seasons that I've ever been a part of.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yes.
So during COVID, everything got shut down.
Yeah.
And there was nothing going on. And when I mean nothing, there was nothing. So I had started an online coaching clinic, and that played on for a couple of weeks. But after a while, you kind of run out of things to talk about online. And then a coach with a little bit of vision here in Airdrie, a guy named Doug Robertshaw, presented the Calgary Bantam Association with a plan to have 9-man football, to create cohorts with the other teams. So you were quarantined for 2 weeks. If you remember, you had to...
the black and white teams.
Exactly. So we had 2 football teams that would cohort with the opposing team and play a game and then go back into quarantine for another 2 weeks. It was very bizarre. But as a result... we had to really adapt and really find creative ways to work at the sport that we loved. COVID changed restaurants too.
Yes.
And I know it changed your business model. Talk to me about the challenge that you had to go through as a business owner during that time.
That was hard. So we did shut down completely for a good 4 months. And then that was hard. And not knowing the unknown scares everyone.
Right.
So, of course, we just listen and do what we had to do. And then opening up, and it was just takeout. So we wanted to be different than other restaurants. So we need to think of what Airdrie needs. So you look around, and Airdrie is all family.
Yeah.
So what I created was these family platters that could feed a family of 4 for under $40.
Wow.
And money is an
issue.
Yeah. So what you can do is help families feed their families for next to nothing. And even today, we still have that price.
That's really cool.
After 5 years now. So, that's what we tried to push. And my God, that just It's crazy. We're the only one in Airdrie that does that.
And you're still the premier takeout spot in Airdrie, right?
I hope so. Like, I still try. I'm trying to think of more creative things, but it's hard.
Yeah, of course. And you know, it's a tough environment as a small business owner. Coming out of COVID really stressed everybody out, and then the demand comes back, but the infrastructure isn't there, and we're still all recovering from what we just went through.
We still are, yeah.
What's next for you?
To open up my dine-in, maybe.
Okay.
Right now, I still don't have dine-in after 6 years, and it's still the same for us. Like, nothing has really changed. Like, our revenue is still the same. We still do the same, but I have less stress. Like, I don't have to hire people and all that stuff. So it's, why fix something if it's not broken?
Right.
Right? So, but I do miss the people.
Right.
Like, and that's where I come to get in touch with you or the community and go out for like ladies brunches and stuff, is still stay in touch with the people of Airdrie.
Right.
So it's awesome.
So are you breaking news here saying that you're intending to?
There's a possibility.
Excellent.
So my lease is up in October,
Okay.
and I will be signing again. So another 5 years for Petite Saigon. So
That's
we'll
fantastic.
make it 3 decades. That's wild just to even think about.
That's crazy.
Right? So, yeah. So there's a possibility, but I just got to play with it a little bit right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when that happens,
Yeah.
we'll be there on opening night,
Yes.
and we'll film a show there and make sure we get some great food there.
You know what's crazy? You know how many football kids have come in and asked for a job? And I was like, God, I could probably pay them in like food.
Yes.
And they said yes.
Well, I'm not sure that's a good business proposition for you, because I've seen how much
I probably go under. It's how
Jacob
much
Hertz
food.
and Macklin Brown and that group
Yeah.
can eat a lot of food.
Oh my gosh. You know, like Logan Queering?
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah, Logan could put your restaurant in the red
When
for sure.
we
on
have
that
him
deal.
over for dinner sometimes, it's awesome. There's never leftovers, and it makes my heart happy. And he takes it all home afterwards.
One of the coolest things about coaching football is the family aspect of it,
Yeah.
and getting to know people and getting to know your story and getting to know your family has
Yeah.
been just a really cool thing for me. What do you have to say to people who've supported you for so long? Because you are famous here in Airdrie for your food. It's award-winning.
Thank you.
I don't know how many times you've won Best in Airdrie, but you have a whole wall full of them last time I saw.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to people who supported you so long?
Thank you. Like, there's no words that I can describe at how grateful and thankful and how blessed we are.
Right.
Like, it's a blessing. So you give what you put out. That's what I say. You put out to your community will take care of you. And that's how a business is, right? So it's the people.
You are continuing our run of, this will be the first time I somewhat come close to swearing on the podcast, badass women business owners that we've had on our show. We've had Joni from Rival here. We've had Tracy from Glitch Gaming. What's it like as a mom and an entrepreneur to run a business here?
When Joni and I and her daughter, Jenna, we won an award, I was so excited when I won the Legacy Award and they won the Most Impact Award, I believe, or the Women's Award. I was walking up the stairs, I tripped, and my award shattered.
Oh, no.
And they were the ones to see it, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. I think I just laughed first, and then I was like, oh, no. And then Tammy Block from the Chambers, she's like, don't worry, we'll get you a new one. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So, but no, it's been a challenge. With running a business and then raising 3 boys to the best of your abilities was the most challenging.
Right.
And they're all in different age groups. Like Josh is high school, Jacob is middle school, and Jax is just starting kindergarten.
Wow.
So I'll have one graduating and one starting school.
You didn't do it just like me and just have all your kids at once in a year and a half?
No.
Okay.
No. And then moving and everything and then coaching football. Yeah, no. See, that's just as crazy.
It's
different types of crazy.
I haven't slept in a long time.
But you got to make time. That
Right.
is, right? Like, that's why we close Saturdays. And that's why Petite Saigon has always been closed Saturdays, because when Josh started Pee Wee, football games were on Saturdays.
Right.
So I just took Saturdays off just to make it for my boys.
So you can really do both. You can be a parent, you can be an entrepreneur.
You 100% can. But you also have to have good people in your corner.
Right.
Like I have the best friend group that support me. And the last 3 years have been a struggle with being newly divorced and all that stuff. And being a single mom and not knowing the unknown. Like my friend group has really stepped in. Yeah. Like, he's an ex-football player, James Balson.
I was trying to figure out how to get James and Farron on the podcast in some organic way. So thank you, James, Farron. Hi.
So James really stepped in as an uncle to my boys, and with Jacob was like, Jacob needed new cleats. And him and Jacob and our other guy friends took Jacob on a boys' day and then surprised him with a brand new pair of cleats.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, like, again, you need good people in your corner to just make life better, right?
You know, that's one of the things I really cherish about the city is how we rally around people who need it and support each other. So that's just great to hear.
Yes.
And they're very important people to me too. So
yes, I know. I called James one day and I'm like, this sounds a lot like Christopher. And you're like, no, it's James. I'm like, no, I know this voice. On the field, off the field. I'm like, is this Chris? You're like, maybe.
One of the only people who actually call me Christopher is sitting right here as well. What advice do you have to women in your boat who are juggling family and business and that? What advice do you have to somebody listening? Because there are people listening that are starting businesses right now in the city.
Put yourself first.
Right.
As yourself and as your mental health. If you're not well, everything is going to crumble.
Yeah.
If you need an hour to yourself a day, take that hour. You want to take an extra 5 minutes, take it. Take a deep breath, and then tackle what's in front of you. Don't think about tomorrow. If someone needed a ride today, you think about that moment, right? Like our problems will always be there.
Right.
So let's just take it on one day at a time, right? And my biggest thing is a good support system.
Right.
Right? Whether it's like your mom or your best friend, and just have a good talk with them. And then it makes a big difference when you have that one, like a 5-minute conversation with someone, like your best friend. It changes your entire day.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't have to be in isolation when you're doing all these things.
No.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not easy.
Hien, this has been a fantastic conversation for me.
Thank you.
I love the food at Petite Saigon. I love how you approach raising your family. I love that we've gotten to know each other, and I'm really glad you've come on the podcast
thank
today.
you for having me. Thank you so much.
And we'll be back with more episodes here on Airdrie Inside. Thank you.